Okay, so this is a story. This is a mental health documentary about myself. We think right now, to start, we believe that I am bipolar and have OCD. Now, I'm seeing a therapist right now, and I've never been officially diagnosed, but everyone goes through a stage where they self-diagnose themselves. Because it just holds us over for a while. We want to know what's going on with our mind. Why are we so... Okay, this video is going to be extremely explicit, so if you don't want to see it, if you don't want to see if you don't want to hear, not see, I'm not going to show anything, obviously, that's stupid, but if you don't want to hear any of my really, really screwed up past and things I've gone through, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to click off the video. And if you're going to worry about me and message me and freak out and stuff, don't, okay? I'm past all this. Your 5 seconds is gone. Time to start getting explicit. I've got some fucked up stuff going on, alright? I'm not afraid to say it either. I'm very open about my mental health stuff. I am fucked up, and that is okay. It's okay to be okay, and it's also okay to be fucked up in the head. I'm fucked up, so... Yeah, there's obviously gonna be a lot of cursing and shit in this video. In this video. So... basically how my depression goes is I go through about either 2 weeks, 3 days, or 1 month of being badly depressed, like suicidally low depressed, just awful shit. And the reason I'm making this video is a lot of reasons. Not just to be like, oh, I need attention for my mental health shit. No, like a lot of people think, no. I'm doing this to share my story and give hope to people that they can recover from anything that happens to them, any mental health, trauma, whatever the hell. I've never gone through any trauma myself. Thank the Lord. I've never gone through any trauma. But I'm making this video as kind of an activist thing, as I want people to know you can get through anything that happens to you. You can get through anything. You can recover from anything. You're not diabetic. You can heal. You can... You know, but this, I wish someone had videos like this back in the day for me, of their recovery stories and stuff. I've not fully recovered yet. I've begun to recover, but that's about as far as I've gotten. This is going to be a really emotional, deep video, and it's going to have a lot of dark topics and fucked up stuff, so if you don't like that kind of thing, or if you think you're going to get triggered by any of this, you should probably go. I'm giving you 5 more seconds to go. 5 seconds. 2 seconds. Time's up, okay. So, when I first started, like, you know, feeling... Oh, yeah, okay, I actually left this part out, unfortunately. I'm gonna put it in. It sounded so stupid, but, after the depression stage goes away, I get... like the first couple of days, like I go into like a week or 2 weeks or a month, or 3 days or whatever, of just perfectly fine. I'm intensely happy, everything's great. It looks like I fully recovered from my depression, which is really weird. That's also the days I start getting really, really, really bad anxiety. Really, really bad. I mean, yeah, I still get anxious when I'm, you know, in the depressed stage. But I get really, 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 really anxious in the stages where I am at right now. Like right now, I'm on my week or month or whatever. I don't really know, because it's always random. It's always either 3 days, a month, or a week, I've noticed. It's always something like that. So I don't know if this is going to last a week, a month, or 3 days. I really hope it lasts a month and the depression only lasts 3 days. To be honest with you, I really don't want to go back to being depressed again. It's really miserable. It's difficult. I don't want to do that again. It's fucking awful. I hate it. I mean, if you have depression, suffer from it, think you suffer from it, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. It just fucking sucks. But anyway, I was about 14 when I really, really started to feel shit. Like, my parents just told me, oh, you're 14, it's just teenage stuff. And I was like, well, I mean, okay, I was just angry all the time. And this would fluctuate a lot, so it was really hard to tell if I was actually depressed or not. I had phases and stuff where I was like, am I depressed? Do I have depression? But I didn't ever believe it. I was like, nah, you're... I had it in my mind that I was faking it. That sounds really, really weird. But I had it in my mind that I was somehow faking anxiety and depression just for the hell of it. Which doesn't even make sense. I don't do that. I've met people that do that, and I hate them, but I don't do that. I didn't do that. But for some reason, I had in my head that I was just faking it. Now, this isn't real. I'm just, I'm a terrible person for this, too. So I really kept it to myself for a number of years until I was about, I think, about 16. That's a pretty damn long time, come to think about it. About 16. I kept it to myself till I was about 16. But anyway, I just kept going, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Until I eventually discovered, again, this is going to get fucked up. I know, it's hard to hear. I discovered self-harm and started doing that shit. I didn't really get that much into it. I just scratched myself with pencils and shit. Just lightly. It was really dumb, but it would just... I don't know why I did it. It was just... A lot of people say it's pain that they can control. For me, it was just... I did it because I knew other depressed people did it, and I figured if they're doing it, maybe it helps them out. It didn't really help me out. It didn't really do anything. A lot of people say it's really addicting. For me, I never got, addicted to it. I could stop at any time. I did. I have. I haven't done it in months, thank God. 3 months, I think, maybe. But, or no, it's been more than 3 months. It's been at least 5 months, probably. Yeah, about 5 or 6 months. Anyway, I started doing that, and, lightly, and then I stopped for a long time. I stopped doing it for a while. And, the depression just got worse and up, and it just was all over the place, just like it is now, like I was saying, month, week, 3 days. Kept on with that. So I was really confused. I was like, okay, maybe I'm not depressed, because, I'm not depressed all the time. And I had it in my head. I didn't know much about mental health at the time. I knew flat out nothing about, all this stuff when I was 14. I actually started studying it when I was 14. So anyway, I was like, depression's people can't get out of bed, they can't even shower, I'm out doing shit, I'm fine. I mean, it's hard to do, but I do it, and I'm not depressed. And for me, it was it's a weakness thing, which is bullshit. Mental health is not a weakness at all, but I had it in my head that I was weak if I was depressed. Which is really dumb. You're not weak if you're depressed, not at all. You're not weak if you're anxious, you're not weak if you're depressed, you're not weak if you're mentally unstable. It's just a thing that happens to some of us, unfortunately. But anyway, so I started thinking that, and I think I was, about a year later, when I was 15, I met my friend, we'll call him Jack, because I don't want to give out a real name. If I fuck it up, then it's just going to have to stay on YouTube. I'm not going to edit this shit. I'm not going to try and edit this shit. So, Jack, your name rhymes with Jake. If you're seeing this, and I accidentally slip and put your name out there, sorry about that. I won't put out any of your, private shit or anything, obviously, but if your name slips out, sorry about that. Anyway, we're going to call him Jack. So I met Jack, and he started saying, he started talking about anxiety and stuff. He started bringing it to my attention that I might have anxiety or something. And I was like, wait, hang on, what was that? Anyway, he started putting it, not putting it in my head, that sounds dumb. He started bringing it to my attention that I could have anxiety, and that I show a lot of signs of it. He didn't say it exactly like that, he actually said it in a really shitty way. I actually didn't believe him at the time. I was like, yeah, that's bullshit, whatever. I'm not depressed or anxious or whatever the hell you're talking about. You're fucking nuts, obviously. And, at the time, I knew he was definitely had a bunch of shit going on. I knew he had depression and stuff. And I was like, okay, I'll try to help out as much as I can. I know I can't fix you or be your therapist, I told him, I think. But, I'll try and, I'll be a friend. I'll be here for you and shit. And he's like, oh, okay, well, that's great. Then I had my first panic attack ever, and this thing was fucking terrifying. Okay, we were at like a middle school we used to hang out at all the time for some reason. I don't know why we chose to hang out there. It was a really fucking boring place, but there was a track. You know, we could go walk around and just chill. We were sitting up on the bleachers overlooking the track, like the running track, and I heard my first, and I started just kind of feeling just weird as hell. I was like, why? Well, I feel kind of paranoid and just kind of weird, you know? I feel kind of like, I started looking around and shit. I started looking around at things and just getting kind of like tight feeling and stuff. And I was like, I think I'm having an anxiety attack. And he's like, oh, are you all right now? Or something along the lines of that. And he started basically walking me through it and telling me what I was going to feel. And he was really calm through the whole thing, which was kind of nice. But he put, you know, he always he always has this thing, you know, like this persona, this like facade he puts on. Whenever mental health shit starts happening, like when I had the panic attack, he goes, like it's almost like he goes into mom getting mad at their kid mode, but not like getting mad. It's kind of weird. He said he gets kind of quiet and starts asking questions, like, and talking kind of fast. It's kind of, you just have to really be there to know. But anyway, Jack goes into this mode. He just goes into this fucking like I know what I need to do mode. It's kind of, no, I know what to explain it like. It's like when someone's in an emergency and you just go completely tunnel vision towards the emergency and you start, you know, talking like, okay, give me this, do this, we need to do this right now, right the fuck now. It was like that. He was, you know, walking me through it. It was nice though because he was calm about it, but it just felt weird to talk about because I'd never talked about it with anyone before. And it was just weird. It was just, to me, it was just strange. I didn't like the whole thing. But, yeah, we started talking about it and stuff, and eventually, about an hour or two later, I finally got over it. It was a long panic attack. Not the longest I've had, but it was a long-ass panic attack. And I was like, is this ever going to happen again? And he's like, yeah, probably so. And, you know, basically we were talking about it and shit, and I went home that night knowing I had anxiety. Knowing I was about 16, or no, I was about 15 at the time, just thinking, damn, I really do have anxiety. I'm stuck with this shit. Or do I? And I was questioning it, and I was thinking, am I faking this? Like I said, I don't know why I thought I was faking it, because I knew I wasn't, but a small part of me was telling me I was faking it for some reason. Which didn't make any sense, because I was like, why would I fake something like that? I hate people that fake shit like this, you know? But yeah, I didn't believe it. I was like, whatever. That was full of shit. It was just a moment. Maybe it's something that'll develop way later in the future, and then I just brush it off. And if anyone tried to tell me I had any kind of anxiety disorder, I immediately put it off and started getting pissed off. I just wasn't having it. I just was not fucking having it. So about a year passes. And, you know, I'm still going through the depression and the ups and downs and all that shit. And finally, when I was 16, we were sitting in Jack's room, and I just started breaking down. I started thinking of what was it, like... No, that was when I was 17. Okay, never mind. Was it 17 when I found out I was 16? I don't actually remember now. I think it was 16. No, it was 17. Okay, no. I went through my whole... I'm pretty sure I went through being 16. No, okay. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, okay. I went through being 16 knowing I was depressed and had some kind of anxiety. I knew that. Or no, I knew I had anxiety. I didn't think I was depressed yet. But I knew I had anxiety, so I went, I kind of started trying to subtly bring it up to my mom, but, she didn't understand mental health at the time either, which I don't blame her for. It's okay. I didn't understand it either. There's no way I could have. There's no way she could have. We knew my sister damn sure has anxiety, and she Yeah, she damn sure has anxiety. Really fucking bad anxiety, actually. Really, really bad OCD and shit. I kind of started bringing it up to my mom, and she's like, "Okay, why do you think that? You know, like it's just being a teenager. It's just this. It's just that." And I was like, "I don't think it is." Like at that point, I was finally starting to accept that I had anxiety, and I do. I have some form of it. There's no denying it now. Definitely no denying it. I've had it all my life. So finally, one day, she started kind of talking. She was like, she always told me if I ever even think I'm depressed or something or want to kill myself, I should immediately tell her so she can do something about it. She told me that all my life, and thank God she did. She's the best mom in the world, honestly. I could never ask for a better mom or a better mental health mom because she understands it just so well now, and I am so fucking thankful for that shit. That is amazing. I mean, that is really, really amazing. She understands a lot more now. And because, she looked it up, she researched, she tried to understand it, and she did. And that just means a lot to me. That's fucking awesome. So thank you, Mom. uh, so, she was kind of bringing it up again, like the whole talk of, do you ever feel depressed? Do you ever feel like you want to hurt yourself or kill yourself or anything? And I was like, well, I mean, I kind of feel really anxious all the time. I think maybe it'd be a good idea to go to a therapist. And she was like, oh shit. She could just kind of, she didn't show it. She never really shows it, but I could just tell inside. She was like, oh shit. Okay. She was like, okay, are you all right and everything? And I was like, yeah, I think it'd be a good idea to go to a therapist. And she's like, are you sure it's not just being a teenager and this and that? And I was like, no, this time, I really need a therapist. There's some shit going on. Like, I finally just broke free and told her. In my mind, I was like, I'm fucking depressed! Help me! Or something like that. And outside, I was like, yeah, I think I need to see a therapist. Like, I'm really not doing so good here lately. And she was like, okay. So we kind of started talking about it more and stuff. And I was like, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to see the damn therapist. That's all I want to do. I just want to see the therapist. She's like, okay. So we go to the therapist, and she explained she explained some things to my mom. She was actually really dry, and not my mom, the therapist or the counselor she was. She wasn't a therapist, she was a counselor. The counselor was really just kind of dry, which I think is a thing that now I know, I don't know, but I think it's just something I call them therapists. I call a counselor a therapist because that's just all I've been to. So I'm just going to call them a therapist. If you hear me mention the word therapist, it means counselor. It's just what I call them. So I'm going to this therapist, and I'm like, telling her all the shit that I go through. And she's like testing me for psychosis and like anxiety and shit, which I don't know if I have psychosis because I do see shit and hear shit, but it's only sometimes. So I don't really know. I think it's probably normal. She starts testing me through all that, and she's like, okay, have you ever had a panic attack? And I was like, yeah, I had. This was pretty far into the saga, I think. I think I'm probably getting off timeline, but it doesn't really matter. Oh, no, wait, okay. The worst panic attack I've ever had actually happened in between going to the therapist and telling my mom. So it was here. Telling my mom was here, the panic attack was here, and the therapist is right here. So right here, I have the worst fucking panic attack of my life. I legit ripped all the fucking clothes out of my closet, threw all that shit on the floor, tore up my entire room, trashed the whole fucking place, put these like insulated overalls on, sit on my bed like this, and just fucking panicked. I was in absolute just horror. It was, when I have panic attacks, it feels really weird. It's not like, okay, shit, I'm afraid. It's like, what the hell am I feeling? Do I really feel this, or am I making myself feel this? And that's sort of anxiety. I sat there for 3 hours. I sat there from about 1 a.m. to maybe 3 or 4 a.m. just sitting there having a fucking panic attack. A full-blown fucking panic attack. It was awful. My sleep is also really weird. I'm not an insomniac, or wasn't. I fixed my sleep schedule now. I'm perfectly fine now. I'm on Seroquel, actually 50 milligrams, which I think I need to up it. But used to, I would sleep all day and stay up all night, and you think, okay, well, you're a teenager. No shit, you do that. I would try my ass off. Just listen to this and take this into consideration. I would try so fucking hard just to fix my sleep schedule. I would sleep through the night and stay up all day, and that lasted for a month. Next month came, bam, I'm back on that shitty schedule, sleeping until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it fucking sucked. It was really depressing, obviously. And my mom, that was also kind of the thing. She's like, do you think you're depressed because you sleep all day? And I was like, no, I don't think that's it either. So, yeah, eventually I had the worst panic attack of my life. The last 3 hours, ripped all the shit out of my closet and everything. Fun times. Fun times. I was texting my friend, actually. I was like, dude, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And he was like, okay. And whenever I have really just fucked up anxiety, I start going into third person, and I actually do this on purpose as a defense mechanism. I start taking over this, like, new personality or something. Like, I do it on purpose. I know I'm doing it. I do it because it's a defense mechanism. I take on a new personality and put myself down somewhere. I store myself somewhere in storage, and this new part of me takes over. And yes, I'm still me. I'm just acting like I'm not, basically. That's a better way to explain it. I'm still me, but I'm acting like a different me. So I'm acting like this different guy, and I'm like, oh yeah, I start talking in third person and shit. Yeah, Levi is really fucked up right now. He's not here. Say hello to me, bitch. And, yeah, I basically did that for a while. And I finally went back to me. I fucking went back to being me. And I didn't have a panic attack for a long time after that. I think I went to the therapist like 1 or 2 more times. About 2 more times. And I was just anxious as hell the whole time. She was like, I can tell you're really anxious. We need to calm you down. So I was like, okay. So she takes me into this different room. It's like a darker room, so there's not as much like weird eye contact, because she would just make the most fucking awkward eye contact. I hate when people do that shit. She would just stare me dead in the eye, no matter how much I tried to look away. I would always just look over and see her just looking me in the eye, and I was like, oh, this is fucking weird. This is really sketchy. I don't like this, But I'm saying, and there's kinetic sand in there. The sand that doesn't like get anywhere. It's all, it's like mud. It just stays together. And it was really nice. I was kind of sitting there fucking with the sand and stuff, and the dark room was nice. I was like, okay, this is kind of nice. I started calming down. She noticed that. She told me about that. Therapy goes on, blah, 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 whatever. It's great. And then about a year later, when I turned 17, or no, I got my first car. No, dude, not when when I was 16, like maybe... I believe I had my Jetta by then, by the third session. I drove myself up there, and they're like, did you drive yourself up here, or did your mom take you? And I was like, I drove myself up here. She's like, okay, that's great, That's a good thing. And I was like, yeah, I guess it is, Because most people, not most, a lot of people with anxiety can't even fucking get out of the house. It's really hard for them to even get out of the house alone. I'm not like that. I've always been really independent. Okay, we think I have OCD. One of the therapists I've went to has mentioned it multiple times. I say I do. I show like a lot of the fucking symptoms of OCD. So we're just gonna say I have OCD. I've never been officially diagnosed. It's technically a self-diagnosis, but you know what? That's a stage everyone. My hands are really weird. That's just the stage everyone goes through. It helps us kind of cope with it a little bit. So I call it OCD, and I call the depression thing bipolar. It's just. I have manic symptoms, too. I have, it's fucking, I'll read through the symptoms and shit, and it's just like, wow, I match up with, every single one of them. Bipolar 2, I match up with every fucking one of them. Bipolar 1 is different than Bipolar 2. Bipolar 2 is more nonchalant, I guess. What I go through. So, eventually, I stopped seeing that therapist. It took a while to find another one, because my mom was saying, she's kind of dry. She's not really helping any and all and stuff. And I think my next appointment was way into the future or something. But I was like, you know what? Let's try a different therapist. I want to see if I can get a better one. Who did I go to after that? Was it the crazy one, or was it some other one? I don't actually remember. No, okay, I remember now. No, okay, we went to a doctor to get me like medication for my mental state. Me personally, I don't fuck with meds anymore. I have one medication for mental shit that I'm on, and one medication for acne. That's it. I'm not fucking with meds anymore until I get a diagnosis. I've decided. I'm on 50 milligrams of Seroquel right now, and that's for sleep. And we started talking to the doctor and kind of explaining, you know, what I go through, and she's like, "Yeah, that does sound a lot like bipolar." Everyone I tell says, "Yeah, that sounds a shit like that sounds a lot like bipolar." Just, you know, bipolar too. That sounds like you're matching up with every symptom pretty much. Like that's kind of like a nail in the fucking coffin right there. So she's like, "Okay, let's try this. Let's try Seroquel for sleep, and this is an antipsychotic medication, but it's used for bipolar disorder too." So I was like, "Okay, I guess we'll try that," and it worked fucking awesome. The first day, I felt like I woke up and I was just full of energy and just ready to fucking go. I wasn't running out of energy. It was like this. It was like I've never done it before, and I never will in my entire life, and I hate the fucking idea of it, but the only way I can explain it is like fucking cocaine. You know when you see like on TV and stuff, they're snorting it off the table, and they just go and they go, "Whoa, fuck yeah!" And they just start getting excited and shit. That's what I was like. So it basically sent my like happy week or whatever, or month or whatever the fuck, 3 days or whatever. That sent that shit into overdrive the first fucking day. The second day, or I woke up after taking that shit. I skated about 3 miles. I skated about 3. Okay, it was 6 technically because I had to go there and come back to my house. So I skated to Subway, which is about 3 miles. I was like, fuck yeah. I was just pushing and pushing and pushing and just going and going and going and going. And I just didn't want to stop. Everything was awesome. I was super happy. I felt fucking invincible. And this is usually what happens on the first day of my happy week. But I was in a depressed week then. So it just started working. I was like, bam, bitch, let's go. And I was just like hauling ass everywhere. I went to Subway, got a meatball sub. I was gonna eat that shit there, but my mom was like, "Okay, don't go too far. We want to see how this medication's gonna work. We're gonna make sure it doesn't do anything too fucked up to you." And I was like, "Well, okay." So my dumb ass, I'm like, she won't mind if I go 3 miles of Subway. Fuck it. I go to Subway and come back, or no, I go to Subway and I sit down, and she's like, "Why did you go that far?" And I was like, "I don't know, I just did." She's like, "Okay, come back." And I was like, "Okay." It doesn't matter or anything. She's just like, "Okay, don't go that far. We want to make sure you're not like fucked up or anything, because mental medications can give you suicidal thoughts, really fucking bad suicidal thoughts." I just felt fucking awesome all day. I was like, "This is awesome. I want to feel like this all the time." But things started setting back in. I started getting this lasted about 3 days. Like this just fucked up feeling. Not like high. I wasn't high or anything, but I was just like, "Oh shit," just hair trigger energy. Lasted about 3 days, and then things started going back to the way they were. But I was doing okay. I was doing all right. I was slowly getting my feet off the ground or whatever. And then, the pattern starts continuing. So I'm like, well, shit. Before this, I was on Lexapro. Fuck Lexapro. That shit did not work. It was for anxiety. It didn't work. I told them to up the dose and fuck with it and stuff, and it didn't work, and I started going through withdrawals of it and stuff, and it just fucked me up. I didn't like I didn't like Lexapro. Lexapro didn't work for me. It just doesn't work for me with my brain chemistry. After that, they put me on Seroquel or something. No, they didn't put me on Seroquel yet. They put me on Prozac, and Prozac is bullshit. Fuck Prozac, okay? Prozac is shit. It works for a lot of people. Some people, I think. Some select few people, I think. I don't know. I've heard some pretty bad shit about Prozac, but the second day, I react fast to medication. I react pretty fast to medication. I don't react badly. I'm not sensitive to meds or anything, but I react pretty fast normally. I felt like a zombie like the second day. I could just feel myself just numbing out. My reaction time was slower, and I was just like, what? I just didn't know what was going wrong with me. Just like my dad when he was on it. So I was like, okay, fuck this stuff. I'm not taking it anymore. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what that damn psychiatrist that prescribed it to me says. I'm not fucking taking this shit. It's fucking me up. And my mom was like, all right, and she really let me. She doesn't like the idea of mental medication that much. But she was like, I'm going to let you do your own thing. It's your mental health on the line here, But if you start getting suicidal thoughts from it, and we start noticing stuff like you're zombified, we're taking you off that shit immediately. So obviously she was like, okay, yeah, I'm fine with you going off that. So I went to the doctor and got Seroquel, and the saga continues. And I was doing all right. I was like, okay, fuck it, I'll try and get another job, because I had a history of quitting. I have a really bad history of quitting jobs after like a month. Because I fucking hate working. It's annoying. I don't like it. I don't like the managers. I don't like anything about it. It's bullshit. I worked at McDonald's before that, and, obviously I was just like, I hate this fucking place. Anyway, I worked at this place called El Paseos. I can give out business names. I don't really think that matters. Anyway, I worked at this place called El Paseos, and it was fucking awful. I hated the people I worked with, except one guy. I liked one guy that I worked with. And then, later, the guy I hated most finally fucking quit. He finally fucking quit. Thankfully. He went on to be a security guard somehow. I'm not going to get into a lot of stuff because I don't want to sound like an asshole, but this guy was a fucking nut. I don't really like to, describe people like that. This dude wasn't, schizophrenic or anything like that. He was just fucking, I don't know. He didn't have it all there. He would do things that just didn't make any damn sense at all. He would carry knives, and he would carry them out. So if someone walked into him, they would have been fucked. You're supposed to carry the knife, behind your back, because we were dishwashers. And we washed knives and plates and dishes and all kinds of shit. We had to wash knives sometimes. So we were supposed to kind of, carry them, behind our arm right here, as the manager told us. I was like, fuck that. I was too afraid of, cutting my fucking arm open. So I just hold it behind my back, because no one's gonna, fucking run into my back and get stabbed when it's going straight up and everything. That's fucking stupid. I guess if I had fallen, it could have went into my spine and killed me, but fuck it, we had non-slip shoes, so fuck it. He would just carry the knife straight out. Anyway, this is unimportant. I don't even know why I'm getting into this shit. Anyway, that job fucking sucked. I quit that job. I found another job and quit that job. I started working at, where did I start working at? I started working at this place called Reds. I was a dishwasher there, and they didn't really tell me much of what to do. And I was kind of a dumbass at the time, so I was kind of like, I don't give a shit. And I wouldn't completely I would wash everything pretty damn good. But I would ask them, they would basically, I would ask, okay, how do you want this washed? Because a lot of times places want things washed a certain way. They're like, we don't really care. Just do it anyway. It doesn't really matter. And I was like, I took that as, okay, so I guess it doesn't need to be, super spotless like at El Paseos. So, it'd be a little greasy sometimes. And then they called me about 2 days later and said, hey, there's grease all over the dishes. You're fucking fired. They didn't say it like that. But they're like, hey, we just went back there and found grease all over the dishes. I don't really think this is working out. We're going to have to let you go. And I was like, oh, okay. I literally said, oh, okay. And they're like, bye. And I was like, bye. And I was like, fuck you. They fucking fired me over the phone for bullshit reasons like that. So I told my mom, and I was like, oh, shit. I was super anxious, but she was okay with it. She was like, it's a part of life. You're going to get fired. It's okay. I immediately started looking for a job after that, though. I was like, shit. And they're like, could you go back to El Paseos? And I was like, hell no. I can't fucking stand that stupid-ass place. I quit that fucking place. I'll never go back. They were really intent on me having a job, though. So eventually, I was kind of chilling on the job thing. I was just trying to find, a retail place because anxiety's a bitch. And I can't handle super stressful-ass jobs like kitchen jobs. Fuck that. No. Too fast-paced. I can't do it. I went back to McDonald's, and I told them I really don't want to be put in the kitchen, And they're like, oh, no, you'll be fine. Let's put you in the kitchen. I used to work there. For about a month up front, which was actually it was all right. It was a really boring-ass job, and I fucking hated it because the customers were just fucking retarded. Just, when I say retarded, I don't mean anything offensive to the retarded people community. It's just something I say. It was fucking annoying because these dumbass customers would come in and just get pissed off over the dumbest shit. The dumbest shit possible. It was fucking annoying. Anyway, they put me in the kitchen, and obviously a McDonald's kitchen, you know, flipping burgers and shit, that doesn't sound very hard. But when people are getting pissed off and there's burgers piling up and shit, and you have to get that shit out within 5 minutes, or if there's people fucking getting pissed off and yelling at you and just being an asshole, that didn't really work out for me in anxiety. So, you know, I start dissociating when shit like that starts happening. I start kind of, my eyes, I feel like my mind is behind my eyes and I can feel it, and it's horrible. So that started happening, and I was like, okay. I told the manager there, the kitchen manager, I was like, you know, I need to go clean my mind for a minute. He's like, okay. He was actually kind of a cool guy, though. He was pretty alright. He was like, clear your mind? And I was like, yeah. So I went to go get a drink up front. This shit is pissing me off. Anyway. All this shit right now is different. I know. I had to switch spots. And I can't sit in that dumbass chair right here that you can't see. Anyway, the light is blinding. I don't give a fuck. I know. I can't fix that. This dumbass phone likes to fall over. Let's see if I can remember what I picked off at. Left off at. I talked about the Lexapro. I talked about the Seroquel. I talked about the Prozac. Oh, right. Oh, shit. Great. I started working at this place, this little Mexican restaurant that had just opened called Villa del Sol. Second worst fucking place I've ever worked at. Fuck you, Villa del Sol. I fucking hate that place. Bullshit. Alright, now, we're not gonna get to that yet. This is like the really fucked up part, okay? I started having thoughts of suicide. Not because of the meds, it just, once really, really fucked up, bad depression, once you wait long enough, you might get suicidal. It doesn't happen, not all depression leads to it. Not everything leads to suicide. But mine did. Obviously, I didn't fucking kill myself. I'm here right the fuck now, okay? Thank God, right? That shit's really annoying, but, I started getting really, really depressed and suicidal and stuff. No, it was when I was working at Vildos, so okay. It was when I was working at the restaurant, so that place was constantly stressful. At first it was alright, it was pretty good, you know, the owner was complimenting me all the time and stuff, it was great. Then everyone just starting to be an asshole. They started blaming me for other people's fucking dumbass mistakes, and that shit pisses me off more than anything. Anyway, so eventually after just enough stress, enough depression, enough bullshit in life, I started contemplating suicide. I sat there that night, texting my friends over Instagram, telling them, you know, I'm really about to I think I'm about to kill myself. And one of my best friends, still to this day, we call him Drunk Goal. I've talked about him, I think, in this. We've been friends for a long ass time, okay? He is one of my best friends in this entire world. I love that guy. He's fucking awesome. He talked me out of it. I had a knife, like, to my fucking throat, ready to fucking, well, kill myself, to be honest. And I told him about it, and he was like, no, that's bullshit. Don't fucking kill yourself, you dumbass. And I was like, okay, fuck it. 40% of me wanted to die. Like, wanted to just end it all right there, end my suffering, put myself out of my fucking misery for once. Just let go. Just not feel anything anymore. But he talked me out of it, along with some other friends too, like my friend Remedial. These are obviously not their real names. I just call them that because that's what I've known them as long as I've known them, because we met on Xbox Live. They're two of my best friends, but they really helped me a lot that night. They really I don't think about that night much, so I don't remember if anyone else is there, but if they were, thank you. Fucking thank you. Hey, I think my dog's doing some weird shit. What the hell are you doing in here? Okay. Anyway. Look at my dog. He's gonna make a bunch of noise now because he's fucking stupid, but they basically talked me out of killing myself. They're definitely a big ass part of the reason that I'm still alive today. Would I have made it without them? I don't know. I probably would have, but they helped me a fucking lot. They really, really fucking helped me a lot through all of this shit, and I'm so thankful for them. Thank God I have them. Anyway, so yeah, they stopped me from, fucking killing myself. And the next day, I was just fucking lost. I was depressed. I was all over the place. I was a fucking mess. And at that point, I basically decided something's gotta give. I gotta fucking do something. At that point, I think it was about a couple of days after I got a Juul, the vape, that stupid ass thing. And I was smoking weed by this time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was smoking weed, but I didn't have any, at that time. I would just get it here and there sometimes, so if I had weed that night, it would have been fucking awesome. But anyway, that's not the point. I got a Juul, and this actually ties into the story. I got a Juul, and that thing was pretty awesome. I was hitting off it all the fucking time and shit. It was one of my, happier moments, or whatever the fuck. But the suicidal just temptation and thought just kept, it was just there in my mind. I couldn't get rid of it. I really couldn't get rid of it. You can't get rid of, you can't just say, oh, well, bye, fuck you. You just can't get rid of suicidal thoughts that easy. It doesn't work like that. It takes a lot of time. Hang on, let me see if I can get this stupid ass light to not be so damn bright. There. That's better. So, yeah, you can't just get rid of suicidal thoughts and temptations and contemplations and shit, I was ready to fucking do it. That was not even fucking close to the worst night of my life. I remember I walked into my parents' room and showed them my Juul just because I got fucking high as hell. I was really fucking high. They didn't know I smoked weed. I don't know if they know now. I really don't know. I don't really think they want to know. Because they don't smoke. Obviously. They don't fucking smoke. I brought my Juul in there and I was like, you want to know what this thing is? And they're like, what the hell is that? And I was like, it's a vape. And I was high as hell, obviously. And they were like, are you fucking retarded now? They were like, what? You got a vape without telling us? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, give it to me. And they confiscated it and shit. And I was really fucking pissed at that. I was really, really pissed off. But the reason I did it is because I kind of wanted to get rid of it. I don't like nicotine. I don't like nicotine at all. I fucking hate nicotine. It's horrible. That's the reason I don't get addicted to nicotine. I had that Juul for 3 days, and I was constantly hitting off that shit. And, I got the highest fucking nicotine possible. I don't like nicotine. It's just shitty. I don't like it, and that's why I don't get addicted to it. A lot of people oh, anyone can get addicted to anything. That's not true. There's people out there that can get addicted to heroin and completely smoke meth and be fine. They will never get addicted to meth. They could get addicted to heroin first shot, though. Some people that will smoke meth and be addicted the first time, take heroin, or shoot heroin, or whatever the fuck, and they will never fucking be addicted to heroin, but they'll be addicted to meth. It's a genetic thing. And genetically, my family doesn't get addicted to nicotine that easily. Or at least my mom's side doesn't. My mom used to smoke for years when she was in her 20s, but she quit it in 3 days. We just don't. My sister, she smokes cigarettes, and I think she used to vape, but it's not the addicting thing for us is the motions and the smoking. That's what it is, and that's not even that addicting. You know, we can put that shit down in like a few hours. It doesn't matter. We don't get addicted to nicotine. We're not. And a lot of people will say that's bullshit, and that's fine. I don't give a fuck what you think, but we really, honestly, don't fucking get addicted to nicotine either not that easily or not at all. I don't think I do at all because I vaped a lot of shit, and I never got addicted to it. I just don't like nicotine. I don't like caffeine either. I can't get addicted to caffeine because I just don't like it. I used to try to get addicted to caffeine. I used to drink energy drinks like somewhat often, but I just didn't like caffeine that much, so I was like, eh. So, you know, I can drink energy drinks and coffee and shit and be fine and put that shit down in a day and not even want to go back to it. I don't know why. It's just our genetics, I guess. My family's genetics. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. You know, I went through the suicidal night and everything. I went in there and I showed them the jewel and they took it. I went back to my room and just got fucking pissed. I was so pissed off at that they took my jewel. Mom and Dad took my vape. Fuck you, you know? I'm so glad they took that. She walks in and I was like, you know, I'm glad you took that fucking thing. I hated that stupid thing. It was stupid. And she was like, don't say fuck. I mean, I said something along the lines of, I'm so fucking glad you took that thing. And she was like, don't say fuck, you know? And I was like, I think there's something I need to tell you. And I told her I was suicidal. And I was trying to think. My friend Jack, I don't remember if I talked about him or not with my first panic attack. I think I did. I was talking to him about it. I was like, should I tell my parents? And I'm thinking about my ex now. I don't know why. He's not my ex. Hell no. Jack's like, yes, fucking tell them. Because he was afraid I was going to kill myself. You know, we're friends. He doesn't want me to kill myself, obviously. So I told my mom that night that she came in there after taking the jewel. And she's like, the reason she came in there was to say, you know, I'm not mad at you or anything. You know, I don't want you to sit here and struggle with anxiety all night. I'm just kind of disappointed about it. You know, no more. It's like smoking a cigarette. Don't be smoking. And I was like, okay, whatever. And it took me. I told her, you know, there's something I need to tell you, but it really freaked her out because I didn't know. How do you tell your parents, hey, I want to kill myself? I contemplated killing myself, and people talked me out of it. How do you walk up and say, hey, Mom and Dad, I want to die? How do you tell someone that? How do you tell your own damn parents that? That's hard. You can't. If you've ever been in the situation where you have to tell your parents about this shit, it's not easy. Don't expect it to be easy. You should definitely tell them and try to get them to understand eventually, but it's not fucking easy. So I told her, my mom obviously was just in shock. She was not very happy about it, obviously. She's very upset about it, actually. We went through a lot of shit together after I told her that. So, she put me pretty much on suicide watch. I don't blame her for it. I don't. Weed is one of the things that damn sure got me through that. Damn sure. Anyway, she was like, okay, your dad's gonna sleep. My dad, she was like, your dad's they're not divorced or anything. That sounds like they're divorced. They're still together. They've been together for 25 years or so. I don't remember. 24 or 5 years. I don't remember shit like that. I feel bad for not remembering shit like that, but I can't remember dates very well. I just can't. So my dad slept in my room and I slept in my mom's room, and
we just, we slept through the night and it was great and everything. And then she did it the next night. Obviously, she was scared to death that I was going to take my own fucking life. What parent wouldn't be afraid that your kid's going to die by their own hand? That's not something you take lightly. So, yeah, she put me on suicide watch, when I finally got to sleep in my own room again, which was about 2 days later because I'm a stubborn bastard. She was like, can you keep the door open at least? And I was like, yeah. And the next day I was like, no, I'm closing the fucking door. And then I told her, I think I need to go. I was actually talking to my friends about this before. I was actually going to pack my shit and go to the hospital and admit myself because I didn't really know what else to do. I didn't want to kill myself, but I also did. And I also wanted her to just be fucking happy or just not feel depressed at least. So I just had to do something. I had to do fucking something, I had to do anything at all. I was desperate as hell to not be depressed. So we went to the hospital. It's about a 10-minute walk, so it was like 2 minutes in the car. She woke up my dad and said, hey, Levi is going to admit himself. Because I told them, because my friends, I was just going to pack a duffel bag and fucking walk out at night. I was going to wait till they were asleep and just walk out of there and let them figure it out later. Because I just did not give a shit at the time. I didn't want to fucking go through having to tell them and them, seeing them in just that, like, oh shit state, But then my friend Remedial, he said, no, you need to tell your parents, don't just walk up there yourself. They're going to be like, what the fuck? And again, he's like the fucking voice of wisdom sometimes or something. He's like, tell your parents. So I was like, okay. I told my parents, I was like, hey, I think I need to be admitted. And they're like, what do you mean admitted? And I was like, admitted to a mental hospital. And my mom was like, oh shit. Wakes up my dad, tells him, he's like, oh shit, They're like, are you sure that's what you want to do? And I was like, yeah, I think so. So they're like, okay, let's just wait till tomorrow to figure this shit out. We wait till tomorrow. I think we waited till the night or something. She was obviously terrified that I was going to kill myself, so she was staying with me the whole day. My dad got home, asked me how I was. I was fucking awful. I said, I am terrible. I don't want to live, or something along the lines of that. I was like, okay. So eventually they decided, okay, let's take him to the hospital. They took me to the ER. And I went up there, and they were like, okay, we're going to call the mental hospital, and an ambulance is going to escort you there. They're like, okay, why the fuck can't we just take him? And they're like, we can't legally do that, which is completely bullshit. I mean, they can't legally do that. That's true, I think. I don't know, but it's bullshit how you can't. Anyway. They took me to the hospital, and I sat in the ER, like the hospital room or whatever. And I did not want to take my fucking clothes off. I did not want to get into their fucking, their weird ass hospital scrubs. I fucking hate those. I hate hospitals. I hate everything to do with them. That is one of my biggest anxious triggers. I really just do not like that shit. No. Fuck no. Fuck hospitals. I sat in the ER I was there for about an hour at this point, and the nurses, they were coming in and checking on me. My parents were there, obviously. And they took, they knew, I was on suicide watch. I was on legit suicide watch in the hospital down the road. And they took all the cords and shit out, and I was like, okay, thanks, I guess. It turns out they weren't really taking them out for me. There was this other woman that came in. She looked like she was probably in her 50s, late 50s, mid 50s. She comes in, she's fucking crazy. She was like saying all this shit and like all this stuff, and I really felt bad for her. She was a frequent flyer, apparently. She was just trying to get meds, apparently, or something. I don't really know what her story was. But it was really awkward and uncomfortable being trapped in there. And when you're on suicide watch at the hospital, or at least in my situation where you self-admit yourself or whatever, you can leave at any time you want. So she left about an hour later, thankfully. She's fucking crazy too. I don't want to be like offensive or anything to mental health, but she didn't have it all together. She was fucking. I think she was addicted to drugs. They said eventually, which I don't know why they told me that, but they're not really supposed to tell you shit like that. But you know, our corrupt ass mental health system. Anyway. Yeah, she was finally out of there, and we sat there for another 3 hours. They said, okay, you know, they're getting the room ready at the mental hospital. It was Springwood Mental Hospital that I was going to get sent to. And they had ages 12 to 17 there, and I was 17. Okay, you know, that's kind of weird, but alright, you know. 12-year-olds and 17-year-olds. A 17-year-old would kick a 12-year-old's ass, so that's a little weird that they have them together, but okay. Fuck it. I don't know. So anyway, you know, I'm sitting in the room. I'm like talking to my parents like, wow, this is really fucking awkward. I'm sitting there in these real baggy, loose blue scrubs. And it was really fucking cold. So I was like, can I have my sweater at least? And you know, I expected them to be like, oh no, you can't have long sleeves, which would have made sense. No, they were fine with it. I couldn't have my pants on though. So I can have a fucking sweater with long sleeves and shit, but I can't have my regular pants on? That's bullshit. And I'm gonna get to the thing that y'all are probably all wondering right now. Yes, they do follow you into the fucking bathroom. I had to piss. I went to the bathroom. She didn't. The first time she didn't go in. The other person. We had 2 nurses there actually. The first one was actually really cool. I really liked her. She was like probably in her 20s. She was kind of hot. I mean, what? Shit. No, she was really cool though. She was like, you know, I'm gonna wait outside the door. She told me to. It was kind of funny. She's like, don't try anything or I will kick the fucking door down. And I was like, oh shit, okay. And she's like, I'm gonna be checking on you too, and if you don't respond, I'll kick the damn door in. I have a key. And I was like, okay. Shit. Alright. I wasn't gonna commit suicide in the fucking hospital when I'm on the way to a mental hospital. At my own choice, you know, it's my choice to go. But whatever, you know, I get it. It's okay. They didn't. It's okay. You know, I could have killed myself. You know, I don't know. But you know, I'm taking a piss and all that, and then this other nurse comes in to take over or something because the other one had some other shit to do. And you know, she's a little older. I think she was 50. I think, and she was actually kind of cool. She was. You know, she sat there and like joked around the whole time and tried to make light of the situation, which is really nice because when you're, you know, in that situation, you're at the bottom of the world right now. You know, you're in your worst. That was my rock bottom. That was my ultimate rock bottom. Worst time of my life ever. Fucking awful. Yeah, so she was pretty cool. She was showing me all these pictures and stuff of like this like wedding video she had made or something for her wedding. It was pretty cool. She was like she was a medic or something, and she said she was in something. I don't remember what it was. It was like, you know, one of the first responders to the to Hurricane Andrew or Harvey or something. One of the big ass hurricanes. Anyway, she went there, wherever that, I think it was Florida. I don't remember where it happened, but it was one of those hurricanes, and she went there, and, you know, she was helping people and stuff. So she showed me some pictures of that, and man, that hurricane fucking ripped shit up. That was a badass hurricane. Anyway, so, you know, she's telling me stories and all that stuff, and eventually she showed me this thing of, like, a helmet or something. She got to, I think it was the Daytona 500 or something. It was some kind of NASCAR thing. I don't really know much about NASCAR, but she got to be like one of the medics at the NASCAR thing, which was really cool. And she showed me some pictures of that. She's like, I'm a nerd, and I was like, no, that's actually pretty fucking cool. My mom was like, damn, that's pretty cool. So I stayed in the ER. It was about 6 hours at this point. 6 long, fucking grueling hours. And we're sitting there, the hospital wouldn't respond to the calls that the nurses would put in and shit. And even they were like, okay, they're supposed to get their shit together by now. This has happened too many fucking times. And we were like, okay, that's a red flag. Okay. They're like, oh, well, you know, they have to get a room ready. The doctors have to talk about it. They have to get the room ready and shit, which was like, okay, what the fuck are they doing? I've been here for 6 fucking hours. Hurry up. They had 6 hours to do this shit, and they didn't fucking do it yet. And they're always like this, apparently. Even though they were told to get their fucking shit straight. So, I sat there another hour. It was 7 hours at that point. I went in about... I don't remember what time I went in, but it was about 7 hours at that point, because I was watching the clock and checking and shit. And yeah, they drug tested me. They, like, piss tested me and all that. And, they found the THC and all that. And, the medications I was taking. Just to make sure I didn't try to overdose on pills, they basically said. I didn't try to overdose on pills. I didn't do that. I already explained all this shit. I was there for about 7 hours, about that point, and they were like, what the fuck's going on? Even they were like, what the hell? And at this point, they kind of figured, okay, his parents can watch him, They can fucking do it. It doesn't really matter. They even asked like several times, can we just take him up there? No, we have to have the ambulance do it, which a therapist later told me that was bullshit, but I think they legally have to do that, just to take every single precaution for, I was suicidal. There's, not really much. Legally, they legally have to do a bunch of shit. The people there were awesome. The people there were super friendly and nice and everything at the hospital. It wasn't a mental hospital, obviously. I was in the ER. They were really friendly and nice, so they were awesome. So hour 8 came. I was there for 8 fucking hours. 8 hours. Oh no, I remember now. We didn't take me there at night. We went there about 12 o'clock. That's what it was. 12 o'clock in the, in the daytime. Sat there for 8 fucking hours. The whole day gone. Just 8. It was awkward as hell. And at one point, I think in the first hour, they brought this computer this tablet up to me to FaceTime with the crisis hotline. I didn't like that shit. I like to do things face to face with actual people. We thought we were going to go there and get to talk to a fucking psychiatrist or something. Or, a mental health, not a psychiatrist. That doesn't even make sense. I guess it kind of does, but whatever, not the point. I thought I was going to get to talk to, a counselor, a therapist, a psychiatrist, a fucking anyone. Nope. They didn't have any on site. A hospital did not have any mental health professionals on site at all. That's not the hospital's fault. Well, I don't think it was the hospital's fault. There's a big ass shortage of mental health professionals in America. So we're not going to get into that. I'm not going to express my opinions on that too much. They didn't have any on site, so they brought in the crisis hotline person, and she was like, well, the best option here is hospitalization, obviously. We're well on our way to that already! No shit! So I'm like, okay, at that point we hadn't completely decided whether I should be, shipped off to fucking Springwood or whatever the fuck yet. That's the actual name of the place. So I was like, my parents were asking me, is this what you want to do? They always, with this shit, they always let me do what I want to do. And, they were kind of iffy about it. They were like, we don't think we should do this. They were kind of trying to talk me out of it, but they were like, we're going to let you do what you want. I was like, I need to fucking go. If I don't go, I'm going to kill myself tonight. And that kind of gave them, I said that too, and they kind of, they were kind of like, oh shit, alright, fuck. Obviously they don't want to send me away to a place they can only see me certain times of the day and shit, if even. I sat there, the 8th hour came, and I finally said, fuck it. I don't want to be here anymore. I just want to go home and fucking sleep. I don't want to fucking be at this place anymore. I don't want to be at this fucking place anymore. And we left. We said, hey, is it alright if we leave? We don't think we're going to do this anymore. This is taking too fucking long. They can't get the mental hospital can't get their shit straight. This is bullshit. And they were like, yeah, sign this form, saying, we're not responsible if you kill yourself later. Yeah. Yeah, they had all my, belongings in a bag and all that, and they gave me those, and I got to change in the thing. And the other nurse, not the one from before, but the other one came in. She was like, okay, I'm going to turn around. And she, kind of goes in there. And I was like, no. The other one went outside of the door. Can you do that too? And she's like, oh, she did? Well, okay, I guess so. Okay. The fuck? Okay, then. Yeah, so I got changed into my clothes and all that shit. They checked me out. I walked out the door. I was tearing up. I didn't. Yeah, my mom was too. My dad was in there, checking me out and all that. Me and my mom were waiting in the car in the parking lot. And this really opened our eyes to how shitty our mental health system is in America. I'm not even going completely off my own experience. There's a lot of fucked up things going on in America with the mental health system right now. Our mental hospitals, the Baker Act, that is not a fucking way to... They keep them there for at least 72 hours to make sure everything's great. That's fine. What do they do when they get out? They're fucked. The mental hospitals aren't that great. I mean, I've heard stories from them. I've read a lot of reviews on them. Yes, people actually review mental hospitals, and they are shit reviews. And you may think, oh, well, this is just because those people didn't want to be there. They were mentally unstable at the time. No, their parents, the parents of these people said, my kid came back and they were in tears. They said, don't ever send me to that fucking place again, or I will kill you. Shit like that. Now, they didn't say that, but they said some pretty close shit to that. We have a very short amount. It's proven that Canada and America are the two worst countries to be mentally unstable in. I think Sweden was the best. I think Sweden had the best mental health system or something. America has a shit mental health system. It is fucking awful. And if you disagree with me on that, then either you have actually been helped by the system has not failed you like it failed me, or you just have never been through the fucking mental health system before. You've never been mentally unstable and been through the mental health system. I have been mentally unstable and been through, a danger to myself. And I've been through the mental health system, and I can say from experience, fuck it. The mental health system right now fucking sucks. And I'm making it my mission. I'm trying to find way. I want to fix it. I want to change it. I want to be an activist and help people in the situation I was in and make sure that shit never happens again. What would I have changed in the hospital if I could have? I would have had multiple mental health people on site, not just for people coming in for suicidal stuff, for people that are there, that need, to talk. People that are suffering from cancer and stuff, that are bedridden, they need therapists too. They need therapists too. They need counselors. They need someone to fucking talk to that knows what they're doing. That lady that was there, that was begging for medications and shit, a therapist or something on site that could have helped, and if it didn't, that's her own fucking problem. At least the fucking hospital could have had someone to try and fucking help. They put me on a fucking tablet on the crisis hotline. I wanted to talk face to face to someone, a fucking human being that knew what they were doing. I didn't get that. And you may say, oh, well, why didn't, okay, actually, this is a valid question. This isn't a dumb question. I don't know why I did it like that. You may say, why didn't you try to get your therapist involved with this? Usually they're like hair trigger about this shit. Well, we couldn't get a hold of her. She was on vacation, which I don't blame her for. Therapists take vacations too. That's great. We couldn't get a hold of the receptionist. And it was, the receptionist and everything was in. It wasn't late at night where the place is closed. We tried calling her multiple times. She never picked up. No one at the reception line says they're on vacation. There's nothing we can do. We said, can we talk? Is there anyone there? Any mental health professional that can come and talk to him? Nope. We can't do that. I don't know why they couldn't, but they couldn't. I would have changed that. No. Well, also another thing I would have changed is, you may say, well, why didn't you just go to the mental hospital? We didn't know how all this worked. We didn't know that you could go to the mental hospital and get admitted like the same day. But even if I did, then they would have kept me there for like 72 hours and let me go, and I probably would have fucking killed myself. Probably, if they didn't, 72 hours isn't enough time to get your meds straightened out, to make sure you're really not gonna fucking kill yourself, to make sure you're really mentally stable, to diagnose you, maybe not a diagnosis. Obviously, you don't need to be diagnosed in a hospital to be diagnosed, but, to get a therapist with you that you can go see, like, every week or month or whatever you do, that's not enough time. The Baker Act is bullshit. The Baker Act basically is that I think anyone under the age of 18 or something, if they're being suicidal, it might be even over 18 in some states. In Texas, you can't. A therapist told me this, so I'm just going to go off that once you're about 17, you can't be sent to military school against your will. You can't be admitted against your will. You can't be sent to boarding school against your will. And I'm 17, so I can't be forcibly admitted in Texas, apparently. I can't be Baker Acted anymore or something, I think. That's what the therapist... Okay, sorry about that. I don't know if it's going to cut out again, but, what were we talking... Oh, yeah, the Baker Act. The Baker Act is a good tool for some things, but the thing is, you send someone to the hospital, and then those first moments of, I'm going to commit suicide, that's great to keep them from doing it. The way they do it isn't the best. They take you and admit you to a mental hospital against your will. This is the Baker Act. They admit you to the mental hospital against your will to make sure, you're not gonna kill yourself. It's suicide prevention, which is a good thing, but the way they do it isn't very good. What I propose is that, how we have physical hospitals? Let's have a second type of mental hospital where you can go in and immediately see a therapist, no questions asked. No insurance, no bullshit. It's paid for by the government with taxes and stuff. You go in, you can immediately see a therapist. Your family doesn't have to know. No one doesn't have to know. You don't have to have parents' consent. You can be any age. You go in, you can talk to a therapist. You can leave and go however you want. And if they see that you're suicidal, like you're gonna really kill yourself and you're showing big ass, like really big fucking signs that you're gonna kill yourself like that day or the next day or the next week or when the fuck ever, anytime soon, they should be allowed to keep you there for a while. Maybe like 72 hours. If you're bad enough. If you're bad enough. Like, if I went in there and said, I'm going to kill myself tonight, then they should be able to keep me there, yeah. No matter what age I am, they should be able to keep me there until I'm at least stable enough to come back and see the therapist again and, start talking to them and get on track, and there should be a lot of counselors and therapists and such in there. And the second mental hospital I'm talking about, it would be, I don't know, called the... I don't know what it would be called necessarily, but it would be like a hospital, but you don't have to pay it would be supported by the government and the taxes. It would be supported by taxes, and if not that, donations and stuff. Donations. You would have a charity for it. You would have something to pay for it. Obviously, shit isn't free, so it would be paid for somehow, and I know it could fucking happen if I just got the damn word out there. I know it could happen. One day I know that it could happen, and we could have such a better mental health system. We could save lots of lives. We could do lots of great things. If that had been there for me that night, the shit would have gone a lot smoother. I wish I had that there at the time. But it's over, and I'm not gonna dwell on it, but it needs to be done. At least if we can't get a separate thing going, let's have on-site, and I also want this to happen if it goes up, if it comes or goes or doesn't get built or what the hell ever. Hospitals should have, every one of them, on-site, multiple counselors or therapists or something, some mental health professionals, not a crisis hotline, not a suicide hotline, not bullshit, not nurses. Mental health professionals that know what they're doing should be in every hospital in the United States. And you know what? And once we get through the United States, we can go to other fucking countries and get this shit done too. We could have better mental health systems for the world eventually. This would take a long fucking time, unfortunately, and obviously. But if it could be done just in at least just one state, one city, one country, we could take this to the next level and really get this going. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. It's something that needs to be done in our country. It's something that needs to be done everywhere. It's something that needs to be done soon. Because suicide rates are hella up. Depression rates are hella up. The anxiety rates are up. And mental health, our system is shitty. If you want to get in with a therapist or something, you have to schedule it and make an appointment and get all this stuff. And you might, if you don't have the money, you're fucked. If you don't have the money, you're completely fucked. A lot of rich people say the only reason I got mental health help is because I had money. And that's because of capitalism. I'm not going to get into my beliefs of politics. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is mental health and mental help. We need those things to be amped up. People are worrying about retarded shit right now. Like equality is great and everything, but we're equal. We're fucking equal. Men and women are getting paid the same. They have equal rights. There's still a double standard, a big ass double standard. I admit that. That can wait a fucking minute, okay? Marijuana being legalized? Hurry the fuck up and legalize it. That's another thing. We could prescribe that okay. Personally, I don't think we should just prescribe marijuana as an antidepressant. I don't know about that necessarily, but weed being illegal, having dispensaries and stuff, that could also help. If I was suicidal and I walked into a dispensary and I said, hey, I'm really having suicidal thoughts, what do you recommend? Or I got someone else 21 to do it for me, that could help. That relaxes you. If you support weed or don't, it doesn't fucking matter at this point. If you don't support weed and you don't support medication, think of it like this. If you don't support medication, medication has side effect after side effect after side effect, and it can make fucked up things happen in your mind. Marijuana doesn't do that. You can look it up. Marijuana doesn't make you want to fucking burn down a school and do a bunch of stupid shit. It's definitely saved my life multiple times because I was so suicidal and that was the only fucking thing I could resort to. It's non-addictive. You can get mentally addicted to it. It happens in some people. You can put it down though. You can put it down just like sugar. Me personally, I'm very addicted to sugar. And that's not a joke. I'm actually I'm afraid of that's not the point. We need dispensaries. Not just because I'm a pothead or anything. We need dispensaries. Even if it's just medical shit, I don't care. CBD dispensaries, that could work too. If you don't want to legalize THC, let's at least get CBD out there. It's bullshit how you can't advertise it like cigarettes, like tobacco. You can't put ads on TV and stuff about it. That's bullshit. But you can put an ad on TV about an allergy medication. That's bullshit. Or, a mental medication like an antidepressant, that's bullshit. But you can't advertise something as harmless as CBD. CBD may have some side effects. I don't know because I haven't looked that much into it, but I've looked a lot into it, and marijuana has helped me a lot. And it's bullshit how it's illegal. I live in Texas, so obviously it's, you know, but one other thing is too, stop focusing on building a fucking border. We can focus on that later. Let's focus in America, not people coming into America. Fuck that for a minute. Yes, that needs to be done something about. Yes, the immigration system sucks too. We're not going to talk about that. It doesn't matter what opinion you have on that. It doesn't matter what opinion I have on that. We need to focus. With that government shutdown, he was trying to get money for the wall. He could have used that to, it's been proven that he could have fed like some poor countries. He could have gotten us, I think it was out of debt. I don't remember completely, but there was a lot of shit he could have done, Donald Trump, but instead he built a fucking border. Would have been better if Bernie Sanders was gotten into president? No, he's a socialist, which if you agree with socialism, that's great. I don't give a shit. I don't. I'm an anarchist personally. That doesn't fucking matter, but I am an anarchist politically. Bernie wouldn't have done shit. Let's be honest. Is America really just gonna go socialist all of a sudden in like 8 years? If he got a second term? No. Free college? No, that's not gonna fix anything. Yeah, people would have better education and stuff, but that's just not, in our time, that's not gonna happen. In our time, maybe free mental health, like I was talking about, maybe it won't happen. I don't know. And I'm not saying mental health should just be completely free. I'm saying there's free clinics out there. Why can't there be free mental health clinics? That's what they'd be called, mental health clinics. Why the fuck aren't those around? There's a fucking physical hospital that can do it. And obviously, after a certain amount of time, they would say, okay, these are going to be the payment arrangements. Can you afford this? If they can't afford it, they can figure something out. It could be like financing or something. We would figure it out, okay? We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But we have a serious problem in the U.S. of people keep wondering why places keep getting shot up. And this is going to get controversial as fuck. It's our mental health system. If these people had real help, they wouldn't have done it. It's like the Columbine kids. If they had better help or help at all or whatever, maybe they wouldn't have done it. I can't guarantee anything, but I can guarantee that if you better our mental health system, people that are mentally unstable won't do it as much. Maybe not at all, maybe not as much, I don't know. It wouldn't be happening so often though. Crazy shit wouldn't be happening as often. And you know what? We need mental health people. Like, I even think politicians need to see a therapist every once in a while, maybe, because they have a stressful fucking job. Cops, military, help, firefighters, fucking EMTs. They need mental health professionals too, even if they're not mentally unstable, even if you're not. I think it could be good for them because they see a lot of fucked up shit all the time. It would be a good idea. To fix the mental health system. And you know what? Fix the drug rehab system too. Because there is stigma on mental health, there is stigma on drug addiction. I've never been addicted to any drug. I've never tried any drug. I never will, I never have. So long as I live. But I've noticed I can relate a lot to drug addicts in their, thing. Obviously, I'm not addicted to anything, so I can't relate to like something like that, but they go through a lot of the same shit that we do as being mentally ill. And another thing is with the Baker Act, it's relapsing. I don't know if I mentioned this before, I can't remember, but what happens after that 72 hours if they're fine but they relapse? I have relapsed multiple fucking times. I still relapse sometimes. It's bullshit, but it happens. And it's fucking horrible. I went 30 days having no suicidal thoughts. I got rid of it. I was happy again. I went right back fucking down. I had a day, everything came at once, and I just fucking lost it. I started having suicidal thoughts again for like a day after that too. I haven't had any since, but I lost count. It's hard to keep up. It's not something you want to think about, really. I think I'm going to end this video here. I think I've said that I usually don't speak on this shit on this channel, but I'm going to start because it's something I can do. Like I said, I want to, like, I don't remember if I said this earlier. I'm pretty sure I did, but like I said, I want to be an activist. I want to actively do things. I don't want her to sit around and bitch about things and hope they change eventually. I want to fucking get out there and change shit. If I have to run a fucking marathon, I will run a fucking marathon. I will run 1,000,000 fucking miles if I have to. I'll swim across the damn ocean. It doesn't fucking matter. If it doesn't happen in my lifetime, that's okay. It needs to happen somewhere soon, though. It needs to fucking happen eventually or soon. We can't sit around and bitch about things and hopefully, oh, you know what, we're spread around, we all know. Good. Step one. After that, we start doing shit. We spread the word and we start doing shit. There's a big, big stigma with mental health. It's like a wise man mentioned once before. You don't care about poverty until you're broke. You don't care about the people that are getting flooded and shit until your house gets flooded. Only select people do. And I didn't give a shit about the mental health system. I admit I didn't give a fuck about the mental health system. I didn't even think about it before I had to go through it. People should not have to fucking go through it to understand it. We need to get the word out there. He's all out there, oh, we need to build a wall. We need to get the fucking word out of mental health. We have a lot of fucked up systems in this country. Our systems are really old, and they don't get changed because we have a lot of politicians that have their mindset on different things, and that's okay. I agree. Yes, we need better border security. There's drugs and shit coming through there. And people say, well, they can just fly over the border. Okay, well, we'll figure that out eventually, too, when we cross that bridge. Right now, we're all focusing on our own shit. It's all divided up in political things. And it's the same guy that said about the poverty and stuff, which I'm going to try and do, is if you can get your point across political lines, you will really make a difference. But if you say, oh, I'm a conservative and I believe this and this and this, that's bullshit and that will not work. That's why I'm not trying to get, I know I am, but I'm trying not to get political on this video right now because I don't want to bring fucking politics and shit into it. I don't want to bring a bunch of shit into it that that's just going to fuck it up. Put aside politics and your beliefs and shit and just listen to me for a minute. Let me tell you why let me tell you why I dislike the mental health system. Let me tell you what I would do about it. Let me show you what I hopefully eventually can do about it. The mental health system does work for some people. It works for a lot of people. Not everyone, but it doesn't work for everyone. It needs to work for at least 89%, at least 90% of the country, or I'm not fucking happy. I will do whatever it takes in my power to get this shit going. I will spend money on it. I will donate to charities. I will run marathons, but that shit's not gonna work. Everyone already does that, and it's not changing anything. It's a great thing to do, of course. We need that to keep going, of course. And we need more of it, of course. But we need to start getting ideas set in motion and experimenting with things. The problem with our country right now is we don't experiment with things enough. We don't. That's why nothing ever gets fixed, because people are too afraid to change things, and I get that. It's scary to change things. I know it is. It's terrifying when something worked before and it doesn't now, because we change as a race. We as humans evolve, adapt and change and evolve. We do shit. I don't believe we evolved from apes or anything. I'm a Christian personally. Like I said, I'm getting way too political, way too whatever about this shit. But that's not the point. Just a protest could possibly do something. A violent protest will not. Obviously will not. We don't need a fucking violent protest about about our belief, or people will not pay attention to it. They'll think, wow, they're a bunch of dumbasses tearing up buildings like Antifa. That's fucking stupid. Anyway, I'm getting political again. Anyway, I'm really trying not to, and I'm sorry that I am. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to stay on topic here, but I'm saying a violent protest, a peaceful protest could get attention. A cause could get attention. A cause could get attention. We need to get people thinking, basically. That's what we need to do. That would help. Because the politicians, they're waiting for us to say something and try and pass laws and try to bring it to their attention. It's going to be difficult. It's going to take a long time, but it needs to fucking happen. It really does. Like, if we don't fix our mental health system, depression rates, anxiety rate, and mental health, unhealthy minds will keep rising. The statistics show that they're gonna keep rising, and then they are rising still. We need a better mental health system. That's what we need in this country. That would solve a lot of issues. Like our shooter issue. I hate that topic, but it would help it a lot. But people just don't fucking listen. They want to ban guns and ban gun attachments and ban this and do that. And let's get people talking about guns. No. Let's get people talking about mental health. We can worry about guns and shit after the fact. Let's worry about our mental health as it is. Let's take a look within ourselves. And if I took a look in myself, I would say I need to fix my mental health. I need someone I can somewhat depend on. Obviously, you have to be independent through this. Codependency is horrible. I'm not codependent. I'm actually too independent. I'm not going to get into that because that's a topic for another video. I could make a bunch of videos about this, and I think I will. I want to give those suffering from any mental health issues at all hope that they can recover, and knowledge that it is possible to recover. I recovered at one point. I did, and I relapsed, and that's okay. I'm still recovering from the last relapse, and that's okay. It's okay to break. It's okay for our mental health system to be fucked up and for us to change it. We can admit it. It's fucked up. It was fucked up. We're changing it. We're doing something about it, and people are getting better. That's a good thing. That's what we need to be thinking. We need to be thinking, oh, well, we need to be thinking it's not anyone's fault about the mental health system. It's not anyone's fault. We just need to do something about it. We need to make changes. We need, obviously, to put new ideas in perspective. We need to do things. Because the more we just sit here and let it rot, the more we rot. I'm not suggesting we go on a big-ass revolution or something. I'm suggesting we change. We change the way things are. We put new ideas into place. We test things. We experiment. And if it doesn't work, and if it was a waste of money, we will find other ways. We need to get people that care about each other more, too. Well, anyway, I'm going to end the video here. This was my story of pretty much all the mental health stuff I've ever gone through with depression and anxiety and, everything. That I don't think I left out anything. If I did, then I'll cover it in another video. But I believe I left out nothing about my journey and the mental health. This is my journey. I'm going to end the video here. Keep tuned for more of this because I probably will be uploading it because I'm very passionate. I've been talking for a long time now. My face is like turning red. I'm very passionate about mental health because I've suffered from it myself. And I believe that we can get people noticing and talking about it without going through it. And that would be great. Anyway, this is Lemons signing off. I hope you have a great day. And I hope this video helped you or did something to you in some way that is beneficial. I really hope it did. I guess I'll see you in this video now.